You're listening to Mad Men Sports, sponsored by Black Button Distilling. Myself, Jake, to my left, Zach, and to my right, we have Diamond Dave. The Buffalo Bills drop another game, 19-16.
Another game. It's only the third loss of the season.
The Cleveland Browns.
Pump the brakes, guys. I don't know. The sky's not falling.
I'm just introducing the podcast.
They didn't drop another game. They dropped a game.
They dropped a game. Fine.
It's okay.
Zach,
Dave, what do you think, man?
I don't think the sky's falling. I think it's getting interesting in the AFC with the Steelers and the Colts.
Thank God we're the one with 3 losses.
But I also think that there's a lot to talk about with this game, but there's also a lot of positives.
Yeah, I look all over the internet, Twitter. I mean, I'm in the Facebook groups. We listen to GR.
Yeah, I've been saying it for
What's
weeks.
going on
Every
with these
week
people?
I say this. Buffalo Bills fans are the most impatient fans in the league.
You know what? I'm with you this week.
Whoa.
We lose a game and the sky's falling. We need to fire everyone. We win a game.
People want to gut Josh Allen on the street.
People need a touch of reality. So I think what we're going to do tonight is try to give you a touch of reality.
We're going to be in the middle. We're going to be a little bit positive, and we're going to be a little...
The Bills played well today, but they didn't get the job done. That's the way I'll put it.
And that happens in football.
It's an NFL game that you lose by a field goal in a game that you miss 2 field goals.
Defense let up some big plays, but still bend don't break. Josh Allen, I personally thought had a good game. But once again, I think the play calling was very, very weak today.
Can we talk about those goal line stands by the Buffalo Bills defense?
I mean, the Browns were, 0 for 11 in the first half?
That's
great.
Crazy.
That's great.
I'll take those pass interference plays any day.
100%.
Because
what are you going to lose, a yard?
Yeah. Exactly. That did not turn into points. So I'll take it. Trey White looked fantastic against Odell Beckham Jr.
His best game as a pro today.
Oh, my God.
He keeps getting better. He's fine wine.
I didn't know that he practiced against Travis Landry and Odell. I forgot about that completely.
I mean, when you have 5 receptions and less than 60 yards with Odell Beckham Jr., one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah, Trey White held him to
crazy.
4 catches against him. I mean, it's great. I mean, people on the internet and people on GR, they're sitting there and they're complaining. But what are you really complaining about? At what point do you just want to find something to complain about so you can be the mad online and get off my lawn guy?
Did you see Nate Geary's Twitter feed today?
That guy's terrible.
Can you tell me what it said real quick?
Oh,
I don't have Twitter, guys.
My God. It was just all complaining, like, football isn't fun. Shut up, Nate Geary.
This guy complains about everything. And we accidentally listen to him on our way home from the games because there's nothing else to listen to sports-wise going home from a Bills game. This guy just complains about everything.
What was he mad about?
Everything.
No, I want to know, really.
He hates Josh Allen, which is
whatever.
What are Bills
fans blaming this loss on today? Because, I was sitting around after the game. Zach and I watched it together with the family. And I don't have one thing to pinpoint the loss on.
No.
So
maybe the field goals.
I really want to know. What is Nate Geary blaming
the only
loss
person
on?
you could maybe sit there and crucify is the kicker. But also, come
Never
on.
let a game go down to a
exactly.
kick.
Why leave it to kicks? I mean... This guy sits here on Twitter. I don't know how he gets a spot on GR. He complains about everything. And listen, so does Bulldog, and so does Shope. And, they're going to bitch about it tomorrow morning.
A lot of people say that's their job. At the same time,
no. Why would that be fun for anyone to listen to?
The sky is not falling. We lost a game that we knew was going to be tough going in. We knew the matchups were tough with Landry and Wallace and White and Odell and Myles Garrett and Deion Dawkins. We knew those matchups were going to be tough. We knew the possibility was not winning, but I still think we were the better team today. Never let a game go down to field goals. Defense let some big plays.
We have 3 tweets pulled up. It says, I have zero faith in this team. Football is about to be fun again.
I'll put it on screen.
What a stupid idiot. Well, I mean, that's coming back. Oh, my God. This guy's so insufferable.
I'm going to go back to my original question. What are people blaming?
What are you mad about?
And this is your Bills media, guys.
Exactly. At what point are you just mad online? Or you just be mad just to get the retweets and the likes from the fans that are just also upset.
Well, this might hit home with some fans, but this could anyone could be a tough guy when they're sitting in their boxes in front of their computer.
100%. Anyone could be a Beavis online.
Even when you
it's
say
fine.
About Diamond Dave.
I'm done with this offense. Listen, you need 3 yards. Both of these offenses are so poorly coached.
Listen, am I mad when they go deep on a 3rd or a 4th and 4 or 3rd and 4 play? Yeah, but you want to know what? I'm not playing the game. You play to win, and these guys are just I just don't know. Does the play calling need some help? Yeah. Next. What are you going to complain about? We're not fixing that today. Jake, are you walking into One Bills Drive tomorrow fixing the play calling because you were upset online?
No, obviously not. I mean, it would
Listen,
be cool to be able
you
to go
only
there.
have seven. You only
I
have
do.
7 weeks left.
I don't like to talk about that, but we can.
You only have 7 weeks left of Buffalo Bills regular season football. You think about this all year long. You think about the Bills. I know I do. I think about the Bills all year long. We have a podcast every Sunday night in the summer, the spring, and obviously the fall.
Yes.
This is what we do. This because it's something we're passionate about. If you want to waste your time being upset online, being mad about it in person, complaining about it, being down on them the whole time, then you're not a fan. And I'm not sitting here trying to question people's fandom. But at what point are you just loving to complain, loving the woe is me mentality, and not sitting here and thinking, oh man, if we would have made those 2 field goals, we would have won by 3 points today. Like, At what point are you just being irrationally mad to mix it out and just kick out logic from your conversations? Because this guy, I mean, I'm not hanging on Nate Geary. My whole Twitter feed's upset. My whole Facebook groups are upset. At what point are you just mad to be mad because you just want to hate something? There's nothing you can blame sometimes. It's football. Guess what, guys? The team on the other side of the sideline plays in the NFL too. It's not an exclusive Buffalo Bills are only in the NFL thing here. The whole league plays in the NFL. Everyone, that team on the other side of the sideline in Cleveland, on the other side of the lake, has way more talent than the Buffalo Bills. I can say that with a straight face every day of the week. They do not have a better coach, but they definitely have more talent. And that's, what are you going to do? Sometimes talent just finds ways to win. Baker Mayfield was the first pick of the NFL draft, and I'm not saying he's good. I don't think he looked great today. But somewhere along the line, he made a great throw to Jarvis Landry twice today when Levi Wallace had him blanketed. Sometimes you just can't defend that. Sometimes that's a number 1 overall pick making the play. I think he won Rookie of the Year last year. Yeah, I think he did. We don't need to think about it too long. He did. Listen, you went against the Rookie of the Year last year, the number 1 pick last year, an Oklahoma Sooner, which you know I hate the Sooners. That's a good quarterback on the other side. And listen, what do you guys, I mean, I don't want to take up all the time. Come on. What do you think about today?
You know, it's not, we're not here to kind of set the whole team aflame and start over. We're 6-3.
6-3.
We won 6 games all of last year.
Going to Miami next week.
Yeah.
If we lose against Miami, maybe we'll have problems then. Maybe I'll be upset at 6-4. I definitely will be.
Well, I asked you guys the question of what are people mad about? What are they pinpointing? Who are they blaming? Who's the scapegoat today? Is it what they ate during the week? Is it the kicker? Is it Josh Allen? So I'm going to say again, what are people like on the internet? And I didn't watch much of the trolls because I was watching the 4 o'clock games, but what are a lot of the angry people saying about the Bills this week? Like, what is the reason? Are they blaming Josh Allen?
They want to crucify Allen.
Are they blaming the coach?
And listen, you can be a little upset with Josh Allen, but you want to know what? Today was one of his better quarterbacking days. He had 266 yards. Guess what, guys? That's a career high for him. And you want to know what's even crazier? It's halfway through his second season.
He has 13 total touchdowns this year, passing and rushing.
Exactly.
So, my reason, if I had to, and we should all pick one thing.
I can't be mad at one thing.
But what I'm going to blame is what I've been blaming all year. I'm going to blame Dable. The Bills had the ball, the chance to win at the last minute of the game. They wasted maybe 25 seconds huddling.
That was a bad huddle.
They were playing to tie. They had a chance to still win because they could have ran.
Is that play calling's fault, though?
I do. I do think it's play calling because I think it's what they're being directed to do.
Listen, if Josh Allen...
Trust me, if it was Josh Allen, you know he wants to go down there and win the game.
Yeah, if Josh Allen was coached otherwise, then there'd be a lot bigger deal of everyone around him being upset. But they willingly huddled because that's what the coaches told him. And I'm not trying to pinpoint that one play because you want to know what? The offense got the ball in the 25, and they moved the ball.
And the other thing, and get your stuff ready to throw at me, the run game was abandoned. Whether you want to believe it or not, the run game was abandoned. What I'm starting to think is I think that, Singletary had one good game last week. He did. He had a good game last week. But other than that, besides being injured this year, he hasn't done anything. So maybe, and just maybe, the Bills have no faith in the run game this year. They have no faith in who runs the ball. They think Gore's old. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of at this point because other than that, there's just no run game on this team. And don't tell me there was for a second because in the second half, there was no running at all when the Bills were still in the game, still competitive, still want to run to open up the pass. The Bills did not run the ball at all.
Listen, I think the Bills' offense did, and this sounds so crazy because they lost, and they didn't put up a ton of points. I think they moved the ball all right today. And I'm not trying to sit here and just say, everything's okay, this is all right, everything's fine. I think there's problems. But I don't think that the running game was doing good enough to stick with it. Listen, they had almost 7 yards of carry at one point with Singletary. Maybe it was 6. I'm going to get my numbers wrong. They had almost 6 yards of carry with Singletary at one point. But you want to know what? They were losing out of the gate. The Browns came down and scored on the first drive. You're playing the whole game behind then. I think at one point they had the lead for what, like 35 minutes today.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man! Like, you have to throw. And the guys, Brown, Beasley, Dawson Knox had a great game today. I think the guys caught. I mean, Dawson Knox had some drops, but those guys played all right. You got 77 yards out of Brown. You got 74 yards out of Beasley. You were moving the ball through the air. Obviously not to the top caliber of the league, but you were able to move the ball through the air.
I would say the weapons on offense with being Knox, Beasley, Brown, those are the major players at this point. I would say, and Foster got a catch today. I would say those guys
20 yards
are not the issue. I'd say we can move past those three. Those three are solidified. They're not going anywhere. They'll be here next year. Knox still has work to do. I'm gonna be a patient Bills fan and calm down on Knox. I think we need to now focus on the run game and maybe the pass blocking. Some would argue that Allen didn't have enough time. Some would argue Allen held the ball way too long. The reality is, I think those two have to get on the same page.
Listen, in terms of the running and passing game, I don't care on what the ratio is. If we're 75% pass, 25% run, it's what we're doing with those plays. If we're super successful on 25% rushing, wonderful. We should probably run more in that scenario. But if we're also passing a lot and moving the ball, I'm not going to beg for the run game. And I know week by week you are asking for more rushes. And that's all right, sure. But the Bills have to find their identity. We don't want to be that team that kind of holds on to their quarterback to see if they have anything in them, like Miami did with Ryan Tannehill. We need to put him in fire.
Listen, Josh Allen threw the ball 41 times today. I think the Bills kind of let him loose a little bit. I'm not saying that he had a great game, but I think he made plays when he needed to. I think he found a lot of these out of the 22 that he completed. Some of those were throwaways.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job not getting sacked today. It only happened once, and it was a kind of a crucial play, but whatever. Listen, he ran the ball all right, effectively, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries. I'll take that. And I know Dave hates him running, but that's a weapon and a tool you have to use out of him. And I think he passed the ball efficiently today. Everyone got some, everyone was fed. Everyone got some catches.
I don't need
today.
him running. I need him not sliding, and he's gotten much better at that the last couple of weeks.
Going back to Trey White and that defense, Levi Wallace, I mean, you're playing against one of the best wide receivers in the league, but 4 pass breakups.
Wasn't that fun to watch
against OBJ?
I think it was 5. For what it's worth. Yep.
Wasn't that fun to watch? OBJ
it's a lot
White?
of fun.
I want to see that every year. I want to see those two I want OBJ to be traded like the Jets or something this offseason, just so we can see that.
But
I want to be traded to the Bills.
It was very funny.
I'm kidding.
You see when we played man, locked down. All his catches like today
In the zone,
in the
found
zone.
a cushion. That's
Exactly.
all it is. And that's fine. You know what? You're going to have a superstar like that get some catches.
and that's fine.
They limited it to 5, and they limited it to under 60 yards. 57 yards isn't a banner day for Odell Beckham today.
No, exactly.
Listen, and they stopped him on the goal line 11 times. This defense,
That's
and
crazy.
I don't want to go without saying how big of a play that safety was today.
Oh, 1,000. That was a
Tremaine
beautiful
Edmonds'
play.
first sack of the season. That was awesome. The defense played good. I think the offense had great plays. I think it's just one of those things where both teams, someone had to win that game, and both teams made plays. And I mean, I don't think the Browns made enough plays on defense.
The Browns were a very desperate team today.
100%.
They opened the game doing exactly what we said they were going to do and exactly what they should have done. Chubb and Kareem Hunt, that's a major thing that the Bills had today. If the Bills had a problem today, it's once again the pass defense.
Rush
defense. I apologize. Rush defense. Second half, Bills got under control, but it was just the damage was done in the first half. I don't know what they're going to do to fix this. Ed Oliver really has been quiet this year. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's been quiet.
For what it's worth, I have a suggestion on how to fix it.
Star Latulier. I don't know what to say anymore, guys. I've talked about it all year. I don't want him here next year. Either that or he takes a pay cut. He's just, people can tell me all day his job's to eat blocks. His job is to stop the run. You can make any excuse you want. We're not pros, I'm sure. We're not coaches. We're not pro anything. But
I can confirm.
Star Latulier, you're wasting my time.
The only reason why I have a problem with Star is just the amount of money he's making. He's making like $10 million a year, and that's like almost all-star money. I mean, you're not paying this man $10 million a year.
He was a McDermott guy when he was here, and I think we way overpaid for him then. And, I mean, the fact that he hasn't taken a pay cut yet is just
What did I
insane to me.
tell you? Yesterday we had, the second highest paid defensive line in the league?
Yeah, and that's going to happen because you're paying Trent Murphy a ridiculous amount of money to not be great. You're paying Starla Tulele a lot of money to not be great. And Jerry Hughes, he got some pressure today, but it's not translating into sacks anymore. You just need a little bit more out of this team.
Shaq Lawson, I think, had a good
You have
game.
a lot of guys on the rookie contract on the D-line, such as Harrison Phillips, Ed Oliver, and Shaq Lawson.
Hell, throw Jordan Phillips in there. He deserves to be
He's not on
paid.
his rookie contract,
Well, I
but
know,
that wasn't
but-
the point I was making. The point I'm making is you had guys. You have what? What did I list? Three guys right there on the rookie contracts, and you still have the highest paid defensive line, and you're not producing on the defensive line. I think today, the best play that the defensive line did was open up Tremaine Edmonds for that safety. That was
Beautiful.
between that and the Jerry Hughes scoop and score that should have been.
Yeah.
I think today was just so exciting to watch. Today I enjoyed football genuinely. You know, I threw fantasy out the window today. You know, obviously I care about the Bills, but
Is it because you watched it with me?
no, it wasn't. It was almost the worst part. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, buddy. Give him a love tap.
No, don't touch me.
But like, you know, I just think I enjoyed football for once today. You know, I was around the family. That was nice, but today I enjoyed the big plays. Listen, that Jerry Hughes play was enjoyable. I thought it maybe was a missed handoff, and the fact that it was going forward was just the fact that Kareem Hunt wasn't there.
It just went straight up.
I
mean, we watched the replays, and when it comes down to it, we would, if that was against the Bills, we would argue too that that's
A lot of missed calls against the Bills, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen was tackled by his face mask today.
Face mask, and some would argue
Listen,
horse
and I know
collar.
a lot of people are listening to this. I'm going to swear, so skip over 5 seconds right now. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
How do you not call that? Even out of the reaction of his head jerking back, how do you not call that? It was tough reffing today, both sides. I don't think that Jerry Hughes' play was as cut and dry as maybe it wasn't. I thought he's got the ball, and that was the most exciting play of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That safety was awesome.
What's your solution on the star thing? You never got there.
I don't need a solution.
You said
Cut
you
his-
had a solution.
cut his
I don't
check.
know,
Oh, no, I had a solution to the red defense.
Cut his check.
And that is?
Score points so they can't run.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, that's a real
I
solution.
thought you had a
That is a
realistic
li-
solution.
No, that's a real solution because last week, Adrian Peterson ran for 101 yards in the first half. Congratulations, you're still down 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They won by 15 points. Congrats on running, but it didn't matter because we scored more points than you. And listen, that comes back to the offense needing a little bit more, and that's fine. I think this is something I didn't want to get into in my first 5 minutes when I was ranting about the team. This is going to be another rant about Josh Allen. And listen, Jake, we've been doing this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
You know how hard I've been on Josh Allen.
It's too hard.
But today, I'm going to take a stand in his corner. He looks at me right now and says, "Cut me, Mick." That's a Rocky reference. I'm in Josh Allen's corner right now because I see a lot of people all over the internet, you know, all on the GR, everywhere you listen to it. You know, Jerry Sullivan, they're beating him up. But what more do you want this guy to do? He had some drop passes and some crucial points this season. I mean, he's got 266 yards today. He did the most. What more do you really need out of this guy at this point? Yes, you want points, but guess what? He's a project quarterback in his second year, and he hasn't even played a full 32 games yet. At what point are you just going to stop lashing out? Dave calls us the most impatient Bills fans in the league. The most impatient fans in the league.
Am I wrong?
I agree at this point because you want to run him out of town when he hasn't thrown an interception in 4 games, and you know what? That's fine because he hasn't been the greatest quarterback in 4 games. But you want to know he stopped turning the ball over. And today, his best pass was a forward pass to John Feliciano, which I'll take all day.
But best pass.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. And you know what? I almost thought it was a pass because all of a sudden he just throws the ball forward. And you know what? I'll take that because he's trying for those extra yards in a game that was a 1-score game all the way through. Have the Bills not been in a game yet this season?
No, and
Maybe the Philadelphia game's fringe at the end, but they've been in every game they've played in, and they're 6-3 to show for it. And then, look at that play right there. He's grabbed by his face mask.
I'll
Jake's
put
just
it on the
scrolling through
screen.
Twitter right now.
I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, but I mean, he's grabbed by his face mask. He's fighting for extra yards. You want to run this guy out of town, and you know what? I've been critical. I've called him very similar to Tyrod Taylor, and I don't think he deserves a ton of credit, but I don't believe that we need to run out a project quarterback right now at this point in his career. Compared to the other guys he's drafted with, he's doing okay. The only person that's doing better is a guy that was drafted into a great organization. And guess what, guys? We didn't just pass on Lamar Jackson. The Ravens passed on him 3 times. They traded back twice and drafted another guy in the first round and then traded up for him. Listen, nothing's cut and dry on draft day. I didn't want Josh Allen. And you know what? I don't think he's someone you can run out of town yet because they're 6-3. He's got a winning record as a starter. He's winning you games. He's keeping you in games. He's not terrible. And you know what? He's not a finished product yet. Listen, we got Tyrod Taylor as a bench from Baltimore. I was on the Tyrod train. I thought he was great for the first 2 years. But eventually, we saw his ceiling. We knew what his ceiling was. That Jacksonville Jaguars playoff game, that was exactly Tyrod Taylor's ceiling. And you want to know what? We have no idea. Zero idea what Josh Allen's ceiling is yet. And you know what? If we don't know next year what his ceiling is yet, then we can start questioning it because it's year 3, and then you can start looking for a new quarterback. But this is year 2, halfway. You're 6-3. He's got a winning record as a quarterback. He's got more touchdowns overall than interceptions overall. Listen, at some point, you got to just let him grow. Last year, everyone complained that he was just an arm because he just only threw long passes, and all he did last year was throw long and run plays. So now this year, he's throwing it short. He's got the intermediate game. And now everyone is complaining because he can't make a deep ball. Pick your poison out of what you want to complain about, because at some point, like I said earlier, you're just trying to complain about something. You got to just put your fandom in front of everything for a second and think, man, you know what? I don't think this guy's terrible, but I don't think he's getting the fairest chance yet. At some point, you just got to relax. Let him grow, because eventually you're going to put too much pressure on him. Not that fans matter, but
yeah.
Listen, he's going to have bad games. Baker Mayfield's having a terrible season, period. He's up to, 3 wins now?
Yeah.
He was a Rookie of the Year last year. These guys are unfinished products right now. If we would have been sold on what he was in year 1, then Baker Mayfield would be crucified right now. But you want to know what? These guys are still growing. And Dave, am I wrong? I know you're a big critique.
I was looking up to make sure Mayfield was Rookie of the Year last
year. He was.
Positive.
Who else was getting it? No one else was getting it.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I'm seeing on my Twitter feed right now is the whole Josh Allen sucks. Why did we draft him? He's basically a Tyrod game manager. Or it's we need to start using Josh Allen to his fullest potential. We need to stop limiting him. Zach, how do you feel about kind of
we don't know what his full potential is yet.
I think that everyone needs to chill out. It's we're 6-3. It's he's played for a year and a half.
Barely.
Last year, people bitched and moaned about him not having weapons. This year, he has a little more weapons, and he's not having a bad year. How many times do we sit here? And say we lost the game because of Josh Allen? Josh Allen played bad.
He's won us games.
You really don't sit there and say that.
He's won us games this year.
So if that's what people, and again, I don't know. I want to know. Please leave it in the comments what people are mad about after this loss. Besides, it's a loss. Obviously, we want to sit here and talk about a win. Obviously, we'd be much happier if the Bills won, but I want to know, what are people blaming for this loss? I sat there after the game and I realized,
I wasn't even mad.
We just weren't the better team today, and that was all. The Browns were desperate.
They had more talent.
We knew the Browns had a really good team on paper. They just have an awful coach, in my opinion. So, then people are going to say, oh, what does that say about McDermott? Just stop. But McDermott's not a bad coach. Josh Allen isn't a bad quarterback. We just aren't there yet. We're not ready to be 7-2 yet. We're 6-3. Early prediction: we're going to win next week. We'll be 7-3.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Broncos.
We got to win the night. Listen,
we have some tough games coming up with the Broncos. The Steelers is going to be huge. We got Cowboys. We got the Ravens. Listen, we got a lot of tough games coming, which is why everyone needs to chill out and support the team. Stop finding ways to bash the team. Stop being Jerry Sullivans and out there criticizing every little move, everything. Just we're 6-3. Let's relax.
Listen, you want to be mad that they abandoned the run game? Okay, I'll listen, because they did. And you know what? I don't fault them for it anymore. They know what they have. And listen, I'm not saying... Listen, if every time Devin Singletary touched the ball, it was a first down, then I'd be mad. But you have to pass the ball in this league, and that's something I
really think... I don't know. I'm sure people will be angry about this, but I don't think they trust the run game. I think Singletary is a little overrated at this point. He's only played maybe 6 games in the league so far. But people are expecting him to go out there and lead the team as a running back. Frank Gore should be used more. Maybe his age is showing. Go ahead, get me, Jake.
Hey,
but I'm saying what?
You see what I made and put on YouTube?
I saw what you made. Yes,
that Devin Singletary.
It was a very good video.
Thanks, man, and a lot of good plays on there.
Yes,
too.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying
he's overrated.
I'm saying he's 6.
I don't think we know what he is yet. He's a rookie.
I'm saying he's played 6 games in the league. He's not ready to take the full load as a running back.
The Cleveland Browns rush defense isn't the best. It's 30th, I believe. And so maybe you should have attacked it anymore. But you want to know what? They attacked it through the air. Josh Allen was able to see the openings and had, 6 carries for 2 touchdowns today?
Yeah.
That he was effective when he mattered. I don't think they played a bad game. I think you missed 2 field goals today, which you guys want to rant about that because that's something we could be mad about. But I don't need a rant after a game like this.
I mean,
you missed 2 field goals, you lose by 1.
we just extended Steven Hauschka, didn't we?
Yeah,
Recently.
whatever. He's a kicker.
You don't never leave the game to a kicker.
Yeah,
Kicker's there as a cushion.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, we talked about the time management at the last minute of the game. They're playing to tie the game. You got to play to win the game. I'll blame, I don't know whether it's Dable or McDermott at that point. I'll blame the coaching staff all day before I blame the offensive.
Can we talk about a crazier stat here? Odell Beckham Jr. only has 1 receiving touchdown this year. It goes to show that there are big problems with the Cleveland Browns offense. I mean, we all know Freddie Kitchens, dog shit coach, Baker Mayfield's having a horrible year. He's tied for first in interceptions in the NFL? How do you go from having rookie of the year last year to just playing complete dog shit with having people like Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry on your team?
Excuse our language, but listen, this is what it is, though, because you know what? After today, I'm still taking Josh Allen over the Baker Mayfield, 100%.
As you should.
Because you want to know what? Josh Allen didn't have Odell Beckham. He doesn't have Jarvis Landry. He didn't have 2 stud running backs. And he still almost won this game. I just don't think that you could beat up Josh Allen in the head-to-head because Baker Mayfield hasn't been great this year. They're not finished products. Dave, do you know what they are?
I don't know. I'm not ready to say whether Baker Mayfield, he did not play bad today. I haven't watched enough Browns games to know whether he's played good this year. I said it on Wednesday or Thursday morning, whenever you guys listened. I said it then. I think this problem with this team is Freddie Kitchens. I don't think he makes it out of this year.
And listen, when you go 0 for 11 on the goal line, it's your problem.
On paper, this team, the Browns have probably the best team in the league. Besides the Cowboys are stacked on paper too. But besides that, the Browns have the best team in the league. There's a lot of hotheads, a lot of personalities. We saw some of it today with Jarvis Landry, who's a real dirty player. I think Kitchens is the problem. I don't think Mayfield's bad at all. I think Mayfield has a lot of potential in this league.
David, we still had some good things, man. But I want to segue this.
He's talking shit about the Browns. Let him talk some shit.
I didn't say anything.
I want to hear your diamond, Dave.
You're telling me you want to wrap this up. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just want to see.
Listen, one thing before we wrap it up. Hey, one thing before we get to the diamond. Guess what stat's still true? John Brown, 50 yards in every game he's played.
It'd be nice if it was 100 yards a game, but
Listen, there's only 2 people that have done that stat all year, so don't give me the least. It would be nice if it would be 100 yards.
It would be.
No one else.
Before we do the diamond, can I have a personal request to you guys?
Go ahead, buddy.
Sure.
Last time we played the Dolphins, I sat here and I was absolutely floored and amazed looking at this laptop while
We're
this
gonna
guy
get
named
him.
Frank the Tank was talking.
Don't worry.
Tonight he became an internet sensation.
Oh, he's been an internet
Can
sensation.
you put that up here by chance?
No,
I can't.
That's gonna take too long. That's gonna take too long.
Not right now.
I just don't think I can get demonetized.
I want to interview him again. I got questions. Can you guys make that happen? I don't do this kind of
Obviously.
stuff.
Frank does anything we ask him for. He's awesome. Great guest.
Diamond in the rough. You know,
friend
I was
Advent
sitting there
Sports.
during the game today, and
Number 1 guest.
Zach and I went to grab, I think, like celery or something while we were eating. And I said, it's going to be hard to pick a diamond in the rough today.
Health nuts.
He mentioned that maybe John Brown should get it. I mentioned maybe Tremaine Edmonds. Then I sat around and started thinking, I haven't seen, let me name some players for you.
Okay.
In my lifetime, some cornerbacks. Deion Sanders, Josh Norman, sorry. Ty Law. I'm just naming dominant players. Darrell Revis. Today, White played just as good as them. He was dominant. He was shut down. He controlled the defense, and he got his second diamond in the rough today. He was outstanding. What do you guys think?
Yeah, White was wonderful.
4 or 5 pass defenses against one of the best wide receivers in this league.
He was out there to play today.
Listen, Odell had 4 catches against him. Trey White had 5 pass defense. He was more effective than Odell Beckham today.
1,000%.
He was just dominant.
Listen.
I mentioned him being an all-pro.
He's going to be expensive.
I still say he's an all-pro. He's just outstanding.
And listen,
I can't find a better cornerback in the league than him right
He's
now.
going to be worth that
Maybe Gilmore.
5-year, $16 million contract he's going to get.
Yeah, lock him up. Let's do it soon.
He's going to be worth it. So Trey White, diamond in the rough, I couldn't agree more. He was wonderful.
No disagreement.
You know what, though? The play of the game was probably that Tremaine Edmonds sack.
It was beautiful.
That was a great
You
safety.
know what could have been the play of the game?
The Jerry Hughes play.
White's interception that Poyer got in the way. And it's
He
a
didn't
mistake.
get in the way. He was dropping it before he got there.
So, Jake, take me home.
Bills fans.
Wait, hold on. Hey, congratulations to Richard Perks. Got married 2 days ago.
Oh, married boy, having fun on your honeymoon, man. Bills fans. The world is not ending. We're still 6-3.
You got a game on the wild card still.
You'll still get Mad Men Sports content twice a week.
Maybe 3 times.
Maybe 3 times.
Twice a week.
3 times. I'm posting highlights. Shut up. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a like. Hit that bell for notifications. Took a YouTube course. Doesn't matter. Look us up. Listen to us. Let us know what you think, too. We're big into comments. Diamond Dave loves the comments. Perfect.
I check him every hour.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get any work done.
Go Bills,
We have
baby.
Frank the Tank back this week from Barstool.